our audience could hear
I don't.
your daughter.
I don't wish
Singing.
that on them. I do not wish that on them. Because it's not really singing so much as yelling at the moment. So I don't know if you could really count it as singing. She's just shouting.
Now she's squealing.
I know. Well, she's excited about life. So
Yeah.
can't blame her.
Nope.
It's a good day. Oh, Daisy. Oh, my Daisy. Let's see. We're working so far. Hello, hello, friends. Hello, all.
Some people are checking in. That's always nice.
Yes.
I just know there's somebody out there.
Somebody. Hello, 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 friends.
Hello, one and all. It's Sunday. Hello, Philo, Illinois. Hello, Jonathan and Philo.
Yep. Jonathan's always with us. Bye, Daisy. I'll see you later. Okay.
She parrots those phrases. It's just so great.
It's so funny. Oh, Daisy girl. She wants ice cream. My husband's taking Daisy away. It's so funny to listen to her because there's just a lot going on. She's stomping and walking through. I apologize for my dad's silence. He has a thing that happens where if I'm not talking, he just stops talking.
No, you made the grave mistake of giving me
food.
A delicious,
yes,
baked good.
Well, I do feel it's important to feed you on occasion.
Yeah.
Not always, mind, but you know, like today.
Every now and then.
You've earned a treat.
Every now and then.
Every now and then we feed you. You know, we don't want him to get used to it. You know, you don't want him to take it for granted. So we have to, you know, keep him on his toes for that. We all want ice cream. Exactly, Kevin. This is the problem, I will tell you. One of the toughest things with kids is that 99% of what they ask for is valid. So if you say, what do you want to eat? It's the morning. What do you want to eat? She'll go, ice cream. And you kind of go, yeah, in fairness, I understand why you would want that. Like, I get why you would ask me for that because I would also like to have ice cream for breakfast. So it's really tough because a lot of the things they say, you want to say, yeah, actually, that's yes.
Makes sense.
I would like to give that to you. I can't, but I would really like that. Let's see. Oh, Doug's saying, happy Sunday, Maltons. Okay, here we go. What are your favorite New York movies? Well, as a former New Yorker.
Oh, lifelong.
Yes, dear.
I'm an ex-New Yorker.
You're an ex-New York. So what's the difference? Makes you feel better.
Makes me feel better.
There you go. Why are you twisted as usual?
Why am I twisted as usual?
Why are you twisted?
Well, I set up these pillows to work, actually.
Yeah. How's that going for you?
Yeah. My favorite New York movies. Well, there's such a broad range. Well, On the Town is pretty great. Even though they took away some of the best songs from the Broadway score.
Yeah.
But they did shoot it all over the city.
They did. We collectively love that musical and we love that film. I think it's one of the greatest scores. Has some of the best music in it.
Well, but you're talking about the show or the movie?
Both.
Okay.
Because the one is in the other.
Yeah.
I know not all of it, but yeah we love that. I mean, I think you've always talked about Woody Allen films.
Yes.
Which are quintessentially New York.
Yep.
And especially of a time
right
that you relate to.
Manhattan, of course, being an obvious choice. But which one is it where he tells the guy who's parallel parking, come on back. And, you know, to the point where he crashes into the car behind him. You had to be there. But it's pretty funny. There's a silent film with George O'Brien in it where they actually show subway under construction. East Side, West Side, is that what it's called? Something like that.
I know a couple of people are mentioning Dog Day Afternoon, Network, Taxi Driver, Manhattan.
Yeah. So
Colin says, I think that was Bananas where that happens. Over here we've got, I just met George Chakiris and it was the coolest experience. I didn't know he was in so many movies aside from West Side Story.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it is fascinating. I say this over and over again, and it's true. I find it absolutely fascinating how careers work. And I cannot imagine what it must be like to I can't imagine what it must be like to sort of be really in and then not be in, or to have something that is such a huge success that everyone knows you for that and then doesn't necessarily know you for anything else.
Yes.
You know,
It's kind of a golden trap. On the
yeah,
one hand, I mean, he is an Oscar winner, and no one will ever take that away from him.
yeah.
You know,
And he earned it.
and he earned it, and
He's great.
and he's in a film that will also live forever.
Yeah.
But as you say, you move on with your life,
Yeah.
and the fans don't necessarily move on with you.
No.
So that's got to be frustrating to a degree. Yes, I like the Hot Rod. Hot Rock is a good New York film. What I like about films like that is they get the ethos of New York. They don't just get the scenery.
Yeah.
You get a sense of what people are like. And the King of Comedy, Martin Scorsese's King of Comedy, is a very New York movie.
Yeah.
It's also what I call a payphone movie.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it is dependent on using pay telephones.
Yes.
Which don't exist anymore. If they do,
forgive me. Again, you're twisting yourself. We're trying very hard. My dad has been going to chiropractor because he keeps twisting his body in ridiculous ways, and I'm just always attempting to fix it. Such is my lot in life. No, it's, as I say, careers. There are people. I had the opportunity to moderate out of town these Q&As with Kathy Najimy before showings of Hocus Pocus. This was a few years ago. We were in Austin, Texas, and then we were in Flint, Michigan, because why not? And it was interesting because she and I had this whole conversation backstage where she sort of explained that she liked the movie. She liked it, and she had a good time making it. But that's kind of it. You know, it's not something where, oh, this is the greatest experience of my life. I love it forever. And so as Hocus Pocus has become this sort of Halloween staple, but also really throughout the year, there are certain quotes that get quoted a lot in general. You know, she's kind of had to embrace the fact that so many people love that movie. And as I say, it was just fascinating to hear from a person who's experiencing it. And she's just sort of going, yeah, I liked it. But because she is smart and she's been in the industry for such a long time, she also understands that when people love that, you know, you can't, she would never rain on their parade.
Oh, yes, the Taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3, not the remake, the original, is a quintessential New York City film. And it is full of quintessential New Yorkers, real New Yorkers.
Yes.
Both in prominent roles and in minor roles.
Yeah.
And that someone also brought up the Automat documentary,
which I know you and Mommy loved.
Oh, I love it.
I liked it a lot, but for them, because they actually had the Automat, it was that next level. My dad didn't do a Q&A with Russ Tamblyn. I'm not sure what you mean. He's interviewed like the Seven Brides folks together on stage, but it's been a long time.
Russ came to my class long ago.
Yeah. But no, we don't have a Q&A with him anytime recently. Craig is saying that he listened to the new episode of the podcast with David Sten. His two great biographies have been favorites of mine for years, and Girl 27 has always haunted me.
Yeah.
Yes, my dad did that episode on his own because I've been having all these things with my mouth, surgeries in my mouth. So it was not a good day for me. So my dad handled it. But I know you love talking to him.
Oh,
and
well,
you guys speak the same language.
He's practically a self-starter. I mean, it's just go.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah, but you had a wonderful time, and I love that. I'm trying to think of what else. I went this morning. I took Daisy, my husband and I took Daisy to a little farm because she's been asking to see farm animals, and we've done it before, but we hadn't tried this place yet. And my favorite line that I've decided needs to be in a movie now, this very nice man who was sort of in charge and watching where everybody was, because you could pet a lot of the animals. He goes, so the goats are over here. The thing about goats, you don't want to play with goats because then they'll start playing goat games, and no humans ever win goat games. I just thought, what is this goat game you speak of? And how would one find oneself in a goat game? And do I want to try and mess with this goat to find out what it is? I did
The answer to
not.
all those is no.
I withheld.
The answer
But I was very
all
much,
along.
yeah. There was one girl though who shoved the goat a little bit. He was not lit. She shoved him, and he just went back and went whoop and knocked her. And I said, "That's yeah." Oh no, we all know what it means. I just love the phrase "goat games," and the idea of having to warn someone about aforementioned games. This amuses me. I did like that Scott said there was a brown cow, and my husband says to Daisy, "That's where chocolate milk comes from." And she goes, "Yeah." And I was like, "Scott, you're not helping. We are going to find this kid." Ran out in the middle of the night, and went and tried to milk a brown cow to get chocolate milk. Yeah. No. Again, Nick, we know what they are. It's just the phrasing of it that made me laugh.
Yeah. Sidney Lumet, of course, never made a film, I believe, in Hollywood. And which almost by definition means he made all of his films in New York.
Yeah.
He didn't. He went on location for some, but he was a quintessential, gotta find another word. He was the ultimate New York filmmaker. And a lot of people, a lot of directors, big directors, really admire his book, which I think is called Making Movies. It's a slender book as opposed to most of the heavyweight tomes that have arrived on my doorstep lately, but including one this thick on PRC Pictures and the Newfields senior and junior.
You know, the Newfields.
Yeah. Newfelds became Newfield.
Yeah.
Newfield, less obviously Jewish.
Speaking of which, to those who celebrate, a very happy New Year. Yesterday was the end of Yom Kippur, which means that we have now hopefully sealed ourselves in the book of life for another year.
Yep.
And I hope that
we literally prayed for that.
Yeah, we quite literally played this lack of sleep thing, man. But yeah, my parents did go to temple yesterday. I opted not to because you know what? No one needs is Daisy running up and down the aisles. So I kept her at home. But perhaps next year we will see. Well, someone is asking what your favorite Halloween movie is. Do you have one?
I don't know if I have a favorite.
Have one.
Well, one of them would be
yeah.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Yes, which we talked about the other day. I love Tucker and Dale.
Just
one of our favorites.
Wonderful film.
And then I guess you love how all the Universal monsters.
Well, yeah, the Gotham.
I don't know if they necessarily. I don't think they're Halloween specific. I think it's just their monsters, and those are the monsters you like.
Yeah.
You also love your Abbott and Costello meeting.
Meet Frankenstein.
You know,
particularly the one.
Yes.
That was the first that they did.
Yeah.
First and best.
Yeah. So something in that realm.
Craig is suggesting that Midnight Cowboy is another great New York film. When I first saw it, when it was new, and I was 18 years old, it ticked me off. I was offended as a New Yorker that it showed such a only the seamy side of life in the city. And but then I got a little older. It's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
It's a great, great film. And about 5 to 10 years after it came out, we went to the Mill Valley Film Festival and they honored Waldo Sall, the great screenwriter. And John Voight was there. And John Voight said, when they were making it, he had a feeling this might be the best thing he would ever do. Isn't that interesting?
Wow.
He recognized,
yeah,
greatness in that screenplay.
Yeah. I mean, and that goes to something else that we say all the time, which is that there are so many moving parts to a film or a TV show that I always think it has to be sort of a strange experience. You go in, you do whatever it is that you're going to do, whether you light it or you shoot it or you're crafty or you're a star, whatever. And then it goes away. And then you just have to really hope it's good at the end.
Yeah.
And you generally have absolutely no control over this. And I think about it, especially for actors, obviously, because that's who you're looking at, and I just think there's such it's like a trust game or something.
Yeah.
Where you're saying, well, I really hope this doesn't suck. It's Yeah. Multiple people are asking about Megalopolis. He still has not seen Megalopolis yet.
No, I'm behind. Last weekend though, my wife and I got to see The Brutalist, which is going to open December 20th, I think, in 3 cities to qualify for Oscars. And it's a really impressive movie made by Brady Corbet and his writing partner's name. I think they're also a couple. Emma, I'm going to get it wrong. I don't want to mangle her name completely. I would like to.
I'm going.
Adrian Brody has the leading part. It's an epic film with a capital E. It's a big story on a grand scale, and it's 3.5 hours long with a 15-minute intermission. And
Mona Fastfold?
Yes.
There you go.
They collaborated on the screenplay, and he directed the film. And you know him mostly as an actor. He's been acting since he was an adolescent.
But he hasn't done very much of late, acting-wise. He really mostly directs at this point, which is really interesting.
And he made the film.
Oh, they have a child together. There you
go. He decided to shoot the film in VistaVision. VistaVision. If you know anything about VistaVision, you don't have to know a lot. You know that it is a 35 millimeter camera turned on its side, essentially, and the film passes through the machinery of the camera horizontally. Yes, that's why it isn't used anymore. All the old cameras that I'm told that they made, not that many, have been used for visual effects.
There you go.
Because the thing about VistaVision is it's kind of a forerunner to IMAX. What is the secret of IMAX? Big frame. The bigger the frame size as you're shooting, no matter how it's projected afterwards, the bigger the frame size, the more detail, the more resolution, the more colors, the more vivid the colors get. So it's a good source for any prints that you want to strike. And the prints that are being struck in 70 millimeter now. But wow. Wow. And I had just taken off my VistaVision t-shirt to go to the screening.
He put on something else and then got there and went, you got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Chris is saying, in a musical or film, has there been a weak first act that was redeemed by a strong second act? I think there are dozens upon dozens of those. It works both ways. Sometimes you see a musical and the first act is fantastic and the second completely falls off. Other way too. Where it's all right. And then by the second, you're loving it and it's great. And I think a lot of movies do the same thing. You and Mommy have had this actually quite a bit with TV shows of late on various streaming services. And I think that too, you watch something and you're really into it and then you just watch it die.
Yeah.
As the episodes go on and you think, no, we were doing so well. Why are we here?
Happy exception to that rule. We finished watching Bad Monkey.
Yeah.
And
not to be confused with Chimp Crazy. Bad Monkey. How do these two things come out at the same time?
Bad Monkey is based on a novel by Carl Hiaasen. I'm a fan of Carl Hiaasen's writing. And this is one of his very funny novels. They're all set in Florida, where he lives and where he worked for the Miami Herald for many, many years as a columnist. And they're all based on truths, which is to say they're not any one person's story, but he's an observer. He observes all the strange goings on, and the lowlifes that do exist anywhere, but seem to congregate somehow in Florida.
That's Mommy. My mom was on the phone with my my aunt just a few minutes ago. They live in Florida. And so us, like everybody else, you're trying to check in with all of your friends and family who have been hit and affected by the hurricanes. And I guess Aunt Jan said something along the lines of, no, the alligators aren't that bad in our community. By the time they get to 6 feet, then someone comes in and takes them away. It's like, oh, so at 5'11", that's fine. 5'11", that croc can have his best life. But the second he hits 6 feet, that's when we say, see you later. Not for me. Not for me. Yeah. No.
On the
no.
subject of old Hollywood ultimately giving way to new Hollywood,
Yeah.
that's someone's pointing out that Midnight Cowboy won the Oscar for Best Picture the same year that John Wayne
Yeah.
won Best Actor for True Grit, made by an old-time director, Henry Hathaway. So that's why Mark Harris wrote his book, Pictures at a Revolution. If you haven't read this book, highly recommend it. It's about the 5 Best Picture nominees for 1969 or 68, 69. You know, which year it came out as opposed to which year they presented the awards. Anyway, then the 5 films are Midnight Cowboy, The Graduate. No, not Midnight Cowboy. Graduate, Bonnie and Clyde. All these new Hollywood.
Colin, is someone here saying 1968?
Yeah.
You said 69.
Thank you.
Yeah. There you go.
Fact checking. Very good.
Yeah. Unlike some, we really like fact checking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We welcome it.
Yeah.
And Dr. Dolittle.
Yeah.
And it's like, which one doesn't belong? Which one?
And then someone else is saying 1967. Yeah. I don't think any. All right. What year?
In the Heat of the Night.
Yeah.
Yeah. There they are. Anyway, it's a wonderful account of the making of and the way these films were received at the time. Famously, Midnight Cowboy, of course, was the first X-rated movie.
1967, it would appear.
But the awards were given out in 1968.
Right. So then there you go. I don't know. Go
Thank
on.
you. There. Here we go. Thank you, Craig. In the Heat of the Night, The Graduate, Bonnie and Clyde, and Dr. Dolittle. And there's wonderful background. And guess who's coming to dinner? Yes, that's right. So Hollywood is right on the cusp of clinging to the old and old-fashioned, Dr. Dolittle, transitioning in the Heat of the Night, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, and embracing the future. And the backstories on all of those films are interesting. And Mark's a really good writer, and he did his homework superbly. I've recommended that to my class for reading because it's just fascinating.
Yeah.
Fascinating. And there's a paper trail on Dr. Dolittle that is hilarious. Not hilarious. It's so awful that it's funny. No one checked the weather forecast for this location they were going to. It was Trinidad. And they got there during the rainy season. They arrived ready to shoot during the rainy season.
What are you going to do? No, it's, they say Hollywood history.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
And so many things to go back into.
Yeah.
The lady today who took our, who we got the tickets from, she had a Mickey Mouse hat on, and Daisy goes, Mickey Mouse. And she said, do you know where I got this hat? Daisy said, no. She said, I got it at Disneyland. And then she tells us that she was there on opening day of Disneyland.
Oh, my.
And she said Walt was standing outside and shook her hand like he did with everybody else as they welcomed them in. She said there weren't very many kids there that day. But yeah, that she shook his hand and walked into the park.
This is a lifetime
Thought
memory.
that was pretty neat, right? Yeah.
I have a memory of shaking hands with Hopalong Cassidy.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I invented this in my head.
Maybe.
Because he was in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade twice in the 50s. And I stayed overnight at my grandma's apartment in the West 70s. A short walk to Central Park West.
Yeah.
To see the parade. So it is feasible. It is possible that
you met him.
Hoppy riding on Topper.
Yeah, yeah.
Shook hands with me, or that I saw him.
Somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there.
I have to go into deep hypnotic sleep or
right.
something, you know, to
I've been having lately,
that.
you know how there's all these sections of your life, right? So you were this old and you went to this school and you were doing XYZ, and then you leave school. And so this is your other part of your life. You're in college and you meet these people and you do whatever. It's funny sometimes to think about sort of these pieces that make up our life. And it came up, somebody was asking me if I had mentors growing up. Somebody asked me if I had some mentors. And I immediately said Kano. I had a singing teacher who was one of my mentors for sure. And then I had this click moment and I went, Nell Carter. I had not thought about Nell in such a long
I thought
time
of her
because she's
yesterday.
gone for well, exactly. She's been gone for so long now. So long. Nell, did you meet at Temple? Is that how you became friendly? Did you meet through Rabbi David? How did you meet? Do you remember?
Through her convert. Did she convert?
I guess. I was a child, sir. I don't remember.
Our rabbi became friendly with Nell Carter.
Yeah.
Who attended services at our congregation, and I suppose was on the road to embracing Judaism.
Yeah.
But somehow or other, we went to a luncheon or something at her house.
Yeah. And you became friendly.
Yeah.
And she took to me and we spent quite a bit of time together. And she was really big on telling me not to take voice lessons. And this is something I've never forgot. She was adamant about this, that she said she liked my voice naturally and she didn't want it to change. She didn't want somebody to come in and tell me how I'm supposed to sing. And the first time she said that, I must have been about 11, the first time she said it. And then when I was prepping for my bat mitzvah, it came up again, where she was saying, don't. And I had just started with a voice teacher then, and she was not happy about it. And I said, but I feel like I need someone to help me train and make me better and all the rest of it. But yeah, it was, as I say, it was just one of those things where she popped into my head because she was precious to me for a while. And then she passed away too young. And,
much too young.
And she was